Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jay Hollingshed, your personal high performance mindset coach and public speaker. Thanking you so much for tuning in for another episode of my 7 Pillars of Mental Performance in 365 Days. I am your host, Jay Hollingshed, welcoming you back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is episode 240 of 365. Today is Tuesday, day number 3 of the week. We will be discussing pillar number 3, which is focus and concentration. Focus and concentration. Now, before I get into that, I got to give my shouts out to all of my 9 o'clock season ticket holders, people that show up right on time because you know the show starts at 9 o'clock. All of my front row seat people. Oh, my classmate from Pine Forge, PFA class of 91, Dale Brown. What's up, man? Lisa Hollingshed, my babe. What's up, babe? My other babe, Jelisa Hollingshed. I appreciate you for tuning in, babe. And my brother, AJ Arthur Hollingshed. What's up, man? I appreciate you as well. You can catch this video in its entirety on my YouTube channel. Also, you can catch me on any of my other social media outlets. So, let's go right along and get into it. Tuesday, day 3, focus and concentration. Now I'm going to talk about what we call a sliding focus. Sliding focus. Here it goes. Have you ever said or heard someone say that they've been up for so long or been awake for so long that they can't see straight? Or if you wear glasses, you should be familiar with this one. Have you ever worn glasses and the frames needed to be adjusted because they kept sliding off of your face? Now, when those frames slide off of your face, what do they do to your vision? What do they do to your focus and concentration? Or what do they do to your focus, your visual focus? Next question. For those that wear contact lenses, have your contacts ever shifted off of your pupil, away from your fixed focal point? Has that ever happened to you, and what did that do to your visual focus? Everything went blur. It frustrated you. All 3 of these scenarios describe what it's like to have a sliding focus, or what some experts call concentration burnout. Yes, concentration burnout. Now, on yesterday, I spoke about having too much confidence and too much motivation and what that can do to you. On tonight, I'll speak on too much focus and concentration and how that affects you. Or better yet, how you can avoid too much focus and concentration. Now, we've all heard the saying that says, all work and no play makes a boring day. Now, ironically, it contains a way to solve our problem of having too much focus and concentration. Concentration burnout is the result of a continuous strain on your brain, a continuous strain on your memory. What's the best way to avoid it? The best way to avoid it is to add short periods of play in the midst of short periods of play to allow your brain to rest. You do that in the midst of your study time. So you're adding short periods of play in the midst of your studying. Now, you're basically breaking it up. We split up the work or your studies into bite-sized chunks. You're splitting up your concentration and focus into bite-sized segments or sessions where you are sliding rest in between. It's just that simple. That is how you avoid having concentration burnout or a sliding focus. Now, research suggests that an optimal work session or an optimal study session or focus and concentration session, research suggests that session lasts no longer than 20 to 40 minutes with a 5 to 10 minute playtime or time for your brain to rest in between. Now, when it comes to that time to rest or playtime, as the author calls it in this article, by the way, I got to give credit where credit is due. This is not my article. I researched this at semanticvictory.com. This is not my work. This is from semanticvictory.com. It's some really good information that I wanted to share with you. So now back to what I was saying. Research suggests 20 to 40 minutes of study time with 5 to 10 minutes of brain rest time or play time in between. And that's in between the 20 to 40 minute sessions. Now, you must make the periods of playtime as different from work as possible. Make it so far as close to being the opposite of your work session or opposite of your study sessions as possible. And it helps when you involve physical activity, because that takes your brain and shifts it from studying and shifts it from focusing and it shifts it from concentration to another activity. It shifts it away from one thing to another thing, so there's no continual strain on one particular thing. Now, the author suggests that some of the physical activity could be as simple as washing dishes or wiping the dust away from the top shelf of a bookshelf, or do a couple of push-ups. Go for a short walk around the house. Step outside, take a breath of fresh air. And if it's raining outside, just stop and listen to the rain and look at the rain on the windows. Things like that take your mind away from studying. Take it off of studying. It takes it off of your concentration and your strained focus. Now, anything like that, any particular activity like that will do as long as you are not straining your concentration, as long as you are not studying. Make it an active break away from your focus and concentration efforts. Now, and actually to sum this whole thing up, what you're doing is splitting your long study sessions and you're breaking them down into bite-sized chunks. It's like eating an apple. If you try to eat that entire apple really fast without stopping to chew your food, without stopping to take a breath, you're gonna choke. And here the thing is, you're shoving so much concentration and focus on your eyes and in your brain that you're gonna choke. You're actually putting an overload on your brain. You are choking the system, the concentration and focusing system. You are putting too much pressure on it. It's like eating an apple. I'm gonna go back to that. Break it into bite-sized chunks. You bite, you stop, you chew it up, you digest. You take the time to chew it and digest. And if you want to add being mindful into that, as you chew it and digest, you are analyzing and savoring the flavors, you're tasting the different taste and getting the different sensations or the different textures of the apple. You're feeling it in your mouth, on your tongue, allowing it to, you're feeling it the way it makes your mouth water. What is it doing inside your mouth? You are transferring your focus and concentration from studying to mindful eating. You are shifting your focus. That's all you're doing. And when you do that, you give your brain time to rest. You're not just focusing it on one thing. You shift it. And when you shift it, your brain is like, oh, finally. Or it's like standing up for a long time. You stand up for a long time. You're longing to sit down. Once you sit down, do you feel better? You can sit down for 5 minutes. If you're standing up in line, like some people stand up in line for concert tickets for hours. Now, once you take a break and just sit down for 5 minutes after standing up for 3 hours, don't you feel better? Imagine what your brain feels like. Imagine what your brain is going through. And Lisa says mental breaks improve your overall results. Yes, they do. They definitely do. It's just a period of rest. It gives you enough time to stop, recenter, get your focus back, and come back strong. There's an old study habit or old study task that's called where there's a will, there's an A. And in their methodology, they talk about the same thing. You study in short bursts. This is the same thing. So basically, break up your study sessions. Study from 20 to 40 minutes. Stop, rest, shift your focus and concentration for 5 or 10 minutes. Then bring it back to your studies, 20 to 40 minutes. You will have greater results when you do that. So that's how to keep from getting concentration, burnout, or sliding focus. That's all that I have for today in episode 240 of 365. I am Jay Hollingshed, your personal high-performance mindset coach and public speaker. And I'm encouraging you to make the effort to keep from having a sliding focus so you won't have an excuse for not being able to focus. Be well, stay blessed, and as always, through love, be a blessing. God bless.